Hey guys, how are you? Hope you had a nice week. I'm hoping to make your week a whole lot nicer. This little pile of records here, take a look. We got many piles to talk about today, but you see this pile here? I'm going to be giving away records from this pile here. We just started a podcast, right? So I want to encourage you guys to sign up to the podcast. And I feel like giving you free stuff because you're the audience, right? And these people, they want to reach you, the audience. So I got you a whole bunch of free goodies. And I'll start off by showing you these. By the way, I lowered the links. If you check out the comments right there, keep subscribing, keep sharing, and you will get one of these records. I know, I got to show the records now. You see this Supa Dupa Fly here? This was released by Vinyl Me Please just now. I think there's a limited version of how many? 2,000? Anyway, mine's 782. They gave me 2 copies to give away of Supa Dupa Fly. This just came out, and it's like massively dope yellow vinyl. Check it. I'll be doing a review on this later, okay? For now, just kind of showing it off because you can win a copy of Supa Dupa Fly in fantastic yellow, and you can win other stuff too. I've kind of already showed my hand later, right? So Vinyl Me Please is giving us 2 copies of these to give away to you guys, okay? See the links below? Subscribe, share, download. That's who we're choosing the winners from. Miles Davis, Sketches of Spain. Absolute gorgeous record. And Experience Vinyl's new record of the month. I will be reviewing this version as well later on in the show. They gave me a couple of copies of these to give away. So yes, you can get a copy of this. And I mean, this is the special edition yellow, all nonsense and stuff here. Look, woo, yellow. Sounds good too. So yeah, you can win a version of this as well. Then you can win a copy of Betty Davis as well. So Miles and Betty. This just came out, so a lot of you probably got it. And let me guess, what do you think? Was I exaggerating? Is this record not exactly as amazing and necessary a funk record as you can possibly have? Yeah, I wasn't exaggerating. Today's the last day to pick it up at Vinyl Me Please. So after that, forever hold your peace. You will regret not having it if you like funk, because it's that good. We're giving one away. Then I have a whole bunch of records from Sun Records. This stuff is being given away also. Okay, you're going to be able to choose among all of these records: Johnny Cash, Howlin' Wolf, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison's first record, Rock House, Carl Perkins, I believe this is his first record, and this is a Hank Williams compilation that's coming out in August. It's a Barnes & Noble exclusive, so it's coming out in, I don't know, a couple of weeks or something like that. I'm about to drop all this. Of course I am, because that's what I do. But I wanted to show you that it's all red and nice. And this is being given away also. If you guys choose the Barnes & Noble record, this Hank Williams here, I cannot send it. We cannot send it before the drop date, before the street date. I believe the street date is August 8th, but don't quote me. But yes, you can win that as well. So subscribe to the podcast, download, share, help us spread the word, and I promise I will send you a whole ass load of really good records. Oh, I just added another prize. Are you okay with that? If I added another one on top of everything, I told you I was going to give away a ton of records. Guys, go get your friends. Tell them to tune in live, man. Let's do something cool. And, hey, man, it's community for community, right? I promise to give away these records. Let's see if we can't build it up. I'm giving away another record. This one I didn't announce, but anybody like Nina Simone? Because this most excellent Nina Simone record is courtesy of Tidal Waves Music, a very rare evening. This will be given away as well. So nice pile. If you hear my dog, that's Patches. She's coming. She's not really a vinyl dog. She's kind of old, and she's just kind of lonely. So I guess she decided she heard voices downstairs and needed a bit of company. I'll show you all of these a little later on, all right? why don't I get to a bit of news? Guys, there's so much news. There's I don't even know where to begin. Do we begin here? Yeah, why don't we begin here? I wasn't really counting on doing the whole Link Wray thing again. The Link Wray thing, for all of the best reasons, is just not going away. So check it. I told you about this that Tidal Waves music came out with, right? Oh, by the way, another giveaway. Just pay attention. Watch this. This will be for next week. Okay. So I had told you about this Link Wray, the Fatback sessions. I won't repeat too much of it. After that, this is the second one of the Fatback sessions, right? And then just download the other podcasts, and I do go into the Link Wray story, especially I think the last one is the one where I really go into it. So we're going to add to that story. And then this was released in a different studio. But the legendary Fatback Studios there's one right over here, okay, the self-titled album, which, if you can take a look right at the top, is just Link Wray. That is going to be released very soon by Light in the Attic. Oops. My whole display is going down. Wouldn't that be awesome? So yeah, Light in the Attic is releasing the self-titled debut. I did a bit of digging. I like to research this stuff, you know. It's what makes the whole thing fun. So as I was digging, all of a sudden I found something called Rumble. Just let me have a real quick look so I can get you the entire title. Rumble, the Indians who rocked the world. Lo and behold, these 3 Link Wray records come out starting from last record day, store day, right? The final one, the Link Wray self-titled album, is coming out next Friday, actually, on Light in the Attic, so look for it. You know what's coming out just a little after that, in August, I believe, or maybe July 27th, I forgot? That movie I just mentioned, Rumble. It's a documentary on Link Wray and his influence on rock and roll. This story's going to get really good, man. It's so cool. So, yeah, unbeknownst to me, man, you know, maybe they did. And I can tell you that if they coordinated the marketing the way they did, hats off. Just wait until you see how this all ends, man. It's actually probably not going to end quite yet. But this is going to be a fun story for Link Wray. So, yeah, the first album is coming out. The self-titled album from the Fatback Sessions is coming out on Friday, right? So that's Light in the Attic. Then there's Tidal Waves. Then there's the documentary, which I just mentioned, called Rumble, that's coming out maybe a week later, the 27th. It's debuting, I think, in New York. And I noticed that they're going to be showing it also in Los Angeles and in Toronto. So this movie will be in the news also. Did a bit more digging and noticed that the podcast, last week's podcast, last week's podcast was shared to Link Wray's daughter. Fucking awesome. So Grace Wray, this morning I spoke to Link Wray's daughter, Grace Wray, and we're talking, and we're going to be speaking a little later on in the week. We're going to be chatting, and I'm going to be asking her about these albums, and I'm going to be asking her about her memories of her father, and a little bit more serendipity. Guys, it's crazy how the world works, but the film company that's putting out this Link Wray movie is based here in Montreal, in my land, man. I've already contacted them because we have a chance to just put something together that helps recognize what a massive influence Link Wray is. It's just a real cool musical movement that's steeped in vinyl, right? Because we can get all these records. Where's the other part of the story? Oh, by the way, the movie, Rumble. Here, let me get you the full title again, all right? You'll see why I'm showing Rodriguez, because there is a very similar thing here. Rumble, the Indians who rocked the world. It was a winner of something or other at Sundance, and it's being premiered at Hot Docs in Toronto. I'm just taking a look at my notes now. So Light in the Attic did the same exact thing once upon a time with another artist. Remember Rodriguez? Yeah, right? Put out the albums, went out and bought them. After this happened, check this cover out, by the way. Awesome, right? Light in the Attic. I told you, it just keeps coming up. After that happened, the documentary came out, Rodriguez documentary, Sugar Man, and it got nominated for an Oscar. Well, wouldn't it be cool if we're at the beginning of a cycle where, you know, we're seeing all of the records and it winds up being a Rodriguez type phenomenon, you know, where this unknown Native American Indian influenced rock and roll from the very beginning, you know, and this documentary talks, I mean, you got to see the people on it. Watch the short, okay? I'm going to actually put a banner up for the short of the movie, the trailer. Iggy Pop's in it. Martin Scorsese is in it. Jesus. Look, everybody's in it. Everybody is in it. You know, Iggy Pop pretty much goes straight to the camera and says, those three chords, man, just those made me decide to just say, fuck it, I'm going to become a musician. Wayne Kramer of MC5, lots of people. It looks like an amazing movie. So we'll see what happens there. Can we get passes for Vinyl Junkies? I don't know. Look, I'm going to try to do some good stuff with this because if it's another Rodriguez story and more people get to know the 70s catalog of Link Wray, I'll be amazingly happy. Okay? And just to repeat, because I'm a repetitive fucker, I'm giving this away. I'm giving a copy of this next week to anybody that shares the podcast or downloads it or, you know, helps us out. I've been buying Indian music since forever. I never really thought about Indian music and rock and roll. I guess I'm showing you this record because this is actually this is a series. These are only 3 of them. 4 of them, yeah. This is actually a series of records that came in a 22 LP box set, released by a label called Indian Records, based out of Oklahoma, Fay, Oklahoma, right? So they put out a bunch of this stuff, and they were selling these 23 LP box sets for like $2 a rec. Just like I think it was $50 for the entire box set. It's like, well, fuck, of course, right? It's all recorded in mono from the late 60s and early 70s, and it's all Alan Lomax style, which is to say, just recording during their powwows and the various tribes, many that don't even exist anymore. Look for Indian Records. See if you can find it. The company's out of Oklahoma. I know it looks like they found a whole bunch of stuff. See if it's still available. If it's available, 22 volumes of it. It's mono. Most of it's mono. Actually, I think all of it's mono. These 4 are the only 4 out of the 23 that I haven't listened to yet. So, yeah, it's a lot of fucking Indian music. I got, you know, Buffy St. Marie and a bunch of other people talk on the Link Wray thing. So the Native Indian thing is there. And if we have to tie in, again, Light in the Attic. Light in the Attic keeps coming up. They're that good, I'm telling you. You know, they have their Native American box set that came out, and that's a box set that I hadn't picked up, but was keenly interested in, you know. So I'm finding it interesting that all of this music from here, you know, that really precedes the blues even. Just, you know, it's the base of the music of this North American soil is being rediscovered is really the most amazing thing. And that's my link of Link Wray to everything that's going on, movies and vinyl and a whole bunch of other things, and a giveaway for the podcast. I dropped it. Of course I dropped it. That's what I do. I drop it. Okay. We're done with Indian Records. I do have another... oh, wait a second. I did tell you, right, that I'm going to be doing an interview with Link Ray's daughter for the podcast. That's happening. We're working on it. So interview with the daughter. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so let's introduce number 2. Okay, another really big one for me, and this is something that'll be interesting because we'll be working on it in the summer. Do you like post-rock? You know, I like post-rock a lot. Been listening to post-rock since the 90s. You know, I first got into post-rock. Being from Montreal, I first got into post-rock through Godspeed You Black Emperor, and I'm assuming probably the members of Godspeed would probably hate me for calling it post-rock because, you know, that's post-rock. So, yeah, you know, this music, kind of like dark brooding that kind of like just eventually crescendos into this massive fucking explosion. It's basically really moody, orgasmic, fucking awesome music, right? So that's where it is that I started. And obviously in that period, I used to work in the car to go see clients, okay? So I had to drive home really late at night very often. So I listened to a lot of dark music. And, you know, that's where I got to know Mogwai, and that's where I got to know Explosions in the Sky and Mono and a whole bunch of things. Lo and behold, it's all temporary residence artists. Well, guess what, guys? Temporary residents will be working with us for the next couple of months, and we're going to be working on a very specific record. This Blazinski here actually came out earlier in the year. There's one song that's a tribute to, on side B, called For David Robert Jones. Yeah, it's a tribute to David Bowie. It's electronic synth ambient awesomeness. So we'll be talking about that kind of thing. The Books is another temporary residence artist, you know, and I think it's fair to say that I've definitely spoken to them about it before, but you know, they've changed my life, and I'm pretty sure that the Books will kind of like weave in and out of the stories that I wind up telling. But and now we get to the big announcement where it comes to temporary residence. And you're asking yourself, why am I showing a Mogwai record that was released on Matador? Because this is the only Mogwai I have on vinyl. I had started with Mogwai with Rock Action. That was the very first one. And then I had also My Father, My King, the EP on CD. Those were like the really heavy things. And then a little later on, Zidane and a few other things. But on vinyl, this is the only one that I've been able to find up to now. The Hawk Has Landed. I forgot what it's called. The Hawk record. And I'm looking forward to getting some new material from Mogwai. Their album's coming out sometime in September. I believe at the beginning of September. So it gives us a lot of time to absorb the temporary residence catalog and see what we can do with it. See what stories we can come up with. You know, it's another label with a really great history. They've been around for 20 years, temporary residents, you know, so who knows what kind of conversations we're going to get into or where the catalog takes us. But it's a deep catalog. You want Post-Rock 101. I mean, that's one of the labels. There's just no doubt about it. So we have some records coming in. I got some records coming in next week, so expect more news when it comes to temporary residents, and expect more specific news when it comes to Mogwai's new album. Okay, we'll be following it, and I'll give you as much info as I possibly can during that time. I love temporary residents. I really, really love that label, so I'm very chuffed about it. Okay, we're going to get into reviews, I think. Should we get into reviews? Yeah, let's get into reviews. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Is that it? Is that it? No, we're not going to get into reviews. Well, we'll get into this review first of all, okay? Experience Vinyl, the monthly service, just released this, and I wanted to go over the record. Yes, we are giving it away for the podcast, but take a look at this. This is where it is that I'll do away with the display and just kind of like play with the record. That's the wax that came in. So you got Sunburst. My understanding is that Barnes & Noble released the same color. It sounds good. I actually compared it to my mono copy. I bought the mono Columbia copy of Sketches of Spain, a couple of years ago when they put out the entire mono series. I got all of it, right? So this was released right after Kind of Blue. And Miles Davis had already worked with Gil Evans on Porgy and Bess and Plus 13, some stuff with orchestra. But this is really the masterpiece. Want to know what it is that I think is the best part of the package? And for me, where Experience Vinyl really nailed what the experience is about. Okay, yeah, that's nice, but colors sell. Look, let's face it, color variants sell, but it's not my thing, but this is where it made a difference for me. Check out the insert that they did. Really well designed. It's nice thick paper, okay? But it's the content, okay? And it tells me that they understand that people that listen to music on vinyl will sit down, they'll have a drink, they'll smoke a joint, and they'll read the liner notes. So, okay, whatever. This picture, nothing. But Santana had a top 10, right? So here's the handwritten notes. Where are they? These are the handwritten notes. He writes as bad as I do with his autograph. And he goes into a few other notes when it comes to some of his favorite records. So Sketches of Spain, Ballads by John Coltrane, and What's Going On get the special treatment, as do some of the songs, right? So then they go into just a song-by-song breakdown of the album. And it's really well designed, and it adds to the experience. It's great. The spelling mistakes, though, 2 spelling mistakes, no good. Then, check this, man. 10 things to know about Sketches of Spain. That's a lot of stuff to enjoy while listening to, a Miles Davis masterpiece, a legit masterpiece. So if I had to tell you where Experience Vinyl got it right, boom, they got it right here. They definitely got it right, because to me, I can show you the cover of this, and it's been released a bunch of times, but reading notes like this, I read this, and I'm going to read it again. This was fun. This was a fun part of the experience. Next month, they're coming out, the person that's choosing their curator is Grace Slick, and she chose Peter Gabriel Melt, and that will come with a special color, blah, 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 blah version of White Rabbit. So you're getting a record that you can't find anywhere else. Fun, right? Do we continue? Let's continue. Another review. Where do I still have this here? Okay. Betty Davis came in. I've had the original. I did a back-to-back, but what it is that I want to do is go over the packaging, and I guess I'm not going to talk too much about the music because I've been going crazy about it, and you know how I think. But what it is that I did was I did a back-to-back listening session and found the dynamic between the 2 records, the remastered Light in the Attic version and Vinyl Me Please version, this one here, to just sound a little bit different. There seems to be a bit more stage separation with the original, while here some instruments seemed a bit more prominent. I don't know if it was remastered or something, but something's off, and I didn't listen to the comparison enough. The vinyl itself, look, man, it's Vinyl Me Please. They don't fuck anything around, man. It's amazing. It's beautiful. The other thing when it comes to this is that, again, they worked with Light in the Attic on this. Light in the Attic doesn't do it wrong, man. They are top-notch when it comes to quality. So what it is that you're getting here is very much, actually, the original didn't have this kind of hot stamp that this have, the foil stamp, and it wasn't a gatefold. This has a gatefold with lyrics inside, and it's a really thick cover, much thicker than the original. So, I mean, if I had to say in terms of a shootout, honestly, this, man, I love it. It's definitely a much more substantive experience, and yet another Light in the Attic record in the catalog. These were the inserts. I mean, Betty Davis, The Drink, blah, blah. All right? Okay. I'm going to put this one aside as well because we're going to be giving away a copy of that, and we're going to be giving away a copy of the Miles Davis. Let's move on to the new arrivals pile, and this is really my top new arrivals. Should I just grab all these now? Yes, I should. It's time for these. All right. So, Vinyl Me Please just put out Supa Dupa Fly on vinyl. It's amazing. I did not know this record, okay? Yesterday, actually, if you want some other, little trivia, yesterday, to the day, was the 20th year anniversary that this record was released. And they did a lot of work, actually, an interview with Missy Elliot directly. Now, what I'm really enjoying about this is that a lot of this hip-hop, a lot of the like Vinyl Me Please's web store is really doing it right. They've become my go-to place to fill in the gaps in my hip-hop catalog that I had. And they are filling them up. This is one of them, but here, just to get that part of the way done. They released Main Source a little while ago, which is deep hip-hop, and it was amazing. Definitely going to be one of the top records of the top 12 at the end of the year when I talk about them again. They released a limited edition of Jazzmatazz, which hadn't been released in forever, so that was cool too. It's got some funky color vinyl. Long gone, you can't get this anymore. This was probably the big one. They did a limited release of Pete Rock, Soul Survivor, which is long gone as well, but sounds amazing. I didn't have this. So, these are just more examples of how it is that I'm building parts of my hip-hop catalog through the VMP shop. The curation is there. New curation, new hip-hop. Look, honestly speaking, I'm not enough of a hip-hop head to really say. The underground guys will probably say that these are just, it's not the real stuff or whatever. I don't know, man. There's these types of fuckhead arguments in every music. This is real metal. This isn't real metal. This is real hip-hop. This is not real hip-hop. Fuck off. Good record, all right? Good record. So, yeah, I got this earlier in the year. And these are just hip-hop records that I got over the last couple of years. All in the same place, right? Tribe Called Quest's last record. This came out just a while ago, Notorious B.I.G. Again, a record I never had and a record that I never gave the time of day. Why? Because Puff Pastry's all over it, producing, and you hear his voice, and I can't fucking stand Puff Pastry. I just don't like the guy. So I never paid attention. I was more of a West Coast guy. But I put it on my turntable, and I love the thing. And now, the interesting thing about all this hip-hop is trying to pick songs out for my summer mixtape so that I can play them outside and enjoy them also while kind of like just chilling out. But I have to make sure that I find songs without swear words. So in other words, I might have 30 seconds of one song so far. And Kate Renata, which came earlier in Montreal. But, all this is to say that they're curating their hip hop really well, and this is the latest one. There's only 2,000 of them. Once they're gone, they're gone. 2 of these are being given away for our prize. Check out the record, by the way. There's no liner notes really, but you'll notice. I don't know if you can see through the camera. Yeah, it's close enough. Okay, maybe not. There we go. Check it out. I have to get the light right, but. It's number 782 of 2,000 foil stamped copies, and it's yellow and all pretty, and it's a record that I can very legitimately say that I've been completely obsessing about since I got it. I did not know who Missy Elliot was. I know, it seems impossible, right? I knew the videos, I knew, the funny glasses and the garbage bag and the yellow costume. I knew all of that stuff. And again, it was during a time in hip-hop where a lot of the stuff that was being shown on MTV with the videos and stuff is stuff I didn't pay attention to at all. Mostly because I couldn't handle Puff Pastry. It seemed just corporate money. I don't know, I didn't like it, all right? It wasn't for me. And I was into other stuff. Right? You can't be into everything. So actually, it coincides because during that time that a lot of this hip-hop came out, I was listening to temporary residence artists and a lot of post-rock. So this comes out and I realize exactly how incredible it is. And it's funny, to be listening to a record 20 years after the fact and having your mind blown over it and realizing that I kept hearing this name Timbaland and didn't realize exactly what an amazing producer he is. This record sounds fucking phenomenal. It sounds phenomenal. Phenomenal. I haven't stopped playing it. It gets 3 plays a day so far. Had it 4 or 5 days, don't know. Want to go a little deeper into the story? My man Saft, right? Jamie Saft. I keep talking about it. Pianist. Played with Zorn, played with a bunch of people, putting out a jazz record with Iggy Pop. He owns the subwoofers that Timbaland used to record this album. Yeah, he's got the subwoofers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head off to his studio at some point, and I'm going to bring this record because I necessarily need to hear what Supa Dupa Fly sounded like out of the speakers that it was created in. It is the best fucking thing, and I can't wait till it happens. So I just thought that I'd add a personal anecdote to this record. Honestly, if you guys can tell me which songs don't have the swear words, I kind of just get lost in the beats, and I haven't really been paying attention that way, but, you know, 11-year-old daughter, it's not time yet. It's too bad, man, because she'd totally dig on this record. Giving away 2 copies. Told you I'd give away good records. Here's another one that's coming out. Can we see it? We can see it. Here's another one that's coming out this Friday. It is the soundtrack to the Johnny Cash biopic, Walk the Line, with Phoenix, what's his name? Phoenix. I don't remember the names of the actors. And Reese Witherspoon. He's a Phoenix, right? Okay. I keep thinking about Phoenix Rivers, the guy that died in front of the club, heroin. Yeah. It's not him. Is he dead? No, this guy's not dead. Anyway, he's amazing playing Johnny Cash. The movie was brilliant. River Phoenix? No, that's not his name. What's his fucking name? Maybe I should look at the notes. Joaquin Phoenix. So yeah, this is coming out next Friday. It was available only on CD. And I'm weary when I hear actors singing songs, and I'm weary about cover songs also. Guys, this record, I mean, listen, I'm not somebody who really cares about Grammys or Oscars. None of that shit matters to me too much, but it won a Grammy. T-Bone Burnett's on it. And legit, I'm talking legit. Joaquin Phoenix does complete justice to this record. You can hear that he's not in his natural element. He's not a natural singer, but he sings well. He really sings well. Reese Witherspoon sings amazingly well. Okay. I would buy a record if they released a record. If Joaquin Phoenix did something, I'd listen to it. It's good. You know who else is on this, by the way? Is it colored vinyl? Oh, I guess I should show you the liner notes. Lyric sheet, and this was the box to the DVD when it came out, or the poster. I wish it would have came out with a poster also. I would have hung it up here in the record cave, but gorgeous, right? And there are names on this record that I did not know, which I will most certainly start looking for now. Most specifically, where is he? Tyler Hilton. I don't know who Tyler Hilton is, but it's the first time I hear him here. I think it's I took a look on Discogs. All of his stuff's on CD, but damn, he can play. And Shooter Jennings is on it, and I like Shooter Jennings. He's okay. But this Tyler Hilton guy, absolutely amazing. There's another guy called Waylon Malloy Payne, and that's it. Yeah, I got them all. So yeah, this is coming out this Friday, and it's on Craft Recordings. It's very well recorded. The vinyl is nice, and yeah, I've said enough about that. I liked it. This came from the Vinyl Me Please store, and it's Ote Maloya. It's another Strut world music compilation. Fact is, I picked this stuff up and I asked for this stuff, and I don't know what it sounds like, but there are reasons why I keep going back to it. I own maybe, at this point, if not close to a dozen Strut compilations. You know, it's got to be around the dozen mark. This is a Strut compilation, so you know you're going to get something that's excellently curated, because that's what Strut does. They handle the African stuff like really well. What's interesting about this, I've listened to it only twice, and I'm still not comfortable rendering any type of big review on it, because a lot of the reason I listen to this African stuff is because it's really funky. Okay, so it's funk. A lot of what happened in Africa and various parts of the world is they took North American music like funk and Jimi Hendrix and a whole bunch of this stuff, and they melded those styles into their own. And this is an example of that, right? The thing is that this is an island. What's the name of that island? Reunion Island. It's all in French. The entire thing is sung in French. And it's pretty clear that the island music is very folky. So to hear some slightly psychedelic elements mixed in with like really predominantly folk music is interesting. It's not something that just kind of caught my ear the way stuff that has the James Brown beat happening, or stuff like Fela Kuti where you just kind of follow along with the beat. No, man, this is kind of real. It's folk music. The fact that it's island music makes perfect sense. It makes sense to me. It sounds like it. It's Strut. It's good. I know that I haven't listened to it often enough to really understand. And the thing that I generally like about these kind of companies, I'll put this stuff down just to show you, is check out the liner notes. I mean, they do liner notes right. Well, kind of. I'll tell you what they don't do right. Right? Check out this booklet. I guess I got to do it this way. It's beautiful, right? Lots of pages, right? Strut, you're awesome. Maybe not. You know why? Because the entire point of putting out these booklets is to read them, especially when it comes to compilations like Ote Maloya, or any compilation where we don't know the music. You're teaching us. You're doing all of this research, and then you're printing it out in this tiny font. It's like, fuck it. I'm not going to read it. I need a fucking microscope to read this thing. Forget magnifying glass. It's that small. If I'm not going to read it, which is too bad, because you go through the trouble of putting a nice thick booklet and making an amazing package, and then the font is this small and I don't read it as a result. I would have had a lot more interesting things to say, but you know what? I like reading liner notes, but I don't want to have to work for it, and anybody over the age of 16 can't see that tiny ass font. Just sorry, man. I know I'm old, but microscope. Dude, I left that shit behind with my chemistry set, man. I can't read. Bigger liner notes. I'm ending with this, and then we go to the giveaway, okay? This was another one that came from the VMP shop, the Gas box set, compact. They put out a bunch of stuff by the Orb. That's where I knew compact from. And I don't know that label all that much, but I knew Gas because it's ambient. It's the kind of thing that you'd hear in the chill out lounges, the after hours chill out lounges, after everyone dances their ass off to jungle and all the rest of this stuff, drum and bass. This is kind of music to do heroin by. Seriously, it's chill. It's really cinematic. It's a 3 LP box set, by the way. I guess I'll go into the packaging a bit, because the packaging, it's a work of art. Okay, that's basically what it is I want to say about this. It's not just the music. The music is one part. It's the gestalt, man. The music is one part of this entire package, and a lot of times people that release records get so caught up in the packaging, make it inconvenient, and it's not as immersive as it's supposed to be. Gas succeeds on every single point. This is one of the most beautiful box sets I have, and it's going to be one of the best box sets of the year for me if I do that whole year-end thing. I wish I could show you the vinyl, but the vinyl's 180-degree vinyl, thick, black, no colors. You know, you open it up, there's a CD. Check it, man. So you're listening to the super ambient music and looking through a booklet with a whole bunch of pictures that really add another dimension to what you're listening to, and succeeds. Really, it's beautiful stuff. It's take a look at this, man. I don't know, you know, if you guys are like me, you know, box set porn, man, that looks nice on a shelf. So, Narco Pop. Another thing I guess I'll close when it comes to this is that watch the videos. When I posted this up, I went to take a look at the videos, right, to add it to the link. If you do a search in the Vinyl Junkies forum, you'll notice that I posted Gas Narco Pop, right? So we you know how we do, right? We add the link at the bottom so we can listen to the music, and it linked up to a video, and the video is exactly the same thing. It takes the concept and it takes the immersive element of the music even further by providing you with an audio visual of the same type of thing, pictures, okay, but an audio visual that just fits perfectly. And the thing is it's not so, it's ambient in the best sense. It doesn't tell you exactly like it is. You remember my complaint with Kevin Morby, how it is that I was saying it's like city music? It's like, it's too bad you had to tell me what every song was about, because that's not what I'm feeling when I listen to the music, so it kind of ruined the experience for me. This, on the other hand, kind of like it gives you stuff that allows you to fill in the blanks beautifully, but it puts you in a certain spot. So right away, you know, if you like forests and that kind of thing, I like it that much, man. If I've gone on that long about it, it's because I love this record that much. And now we're going to give away some records. So it's time for me to look for names. Let me get my records together. I'll tell you about them again. And I'll show you what I'm giving away next week for all of you that like and share our Vinyl Junkies posts. Download episode 3, and I'll pick a winner to win this Link Wray record, Mordecai Jones. Check this, dude. I know you saw this last week there, but Mordecai Jones. Okay, I'll give away a copy of this courtesy of Tidal Waves Music next week to everybody who downloads the podcast. The link is right down below. I will choose from the people who download. Simple as that. And I'll announce other prizes. I mean, we're working on a whole lot of other stuff, right? It's just a matter of being able to announce it at the right time. But there's more. Soundsmith, there's stuff coming up there. We're going to be talking about cartridges more. We're just not there yet. But developing good material. Speaking of material, we're going to go back to the Sun Records and the giveaways. And we're slowly closing up. I'm just trying to find... Why don't I have email? I mean, why don't I have a message? Dave Mace, where are you? I want to give away records, Dave Mace. I need names, Dave Mace. Oh, this fucking sucks. Dude, you're holding me up here, man. Fuck. I don't know who I'm giving these records away to. Sorry, man. It sucks. Because I put a lot of time into planning this shit properly, and this fucking is garbage. I'm going to give away a copy of this next week, okay? Just download the podcast, and I'll choose amongst that. I'm going to give away a copy of Betty Davis, self-titled debut, courtesy of Vinyl Me Please, and it's a Light in the Attic release, so real quality. I'll pick a winner out of that. Unfortunately, I'll have to announce it not live, but I will pick a winner, maybe even 2 winners, okay? For our friends at Experience Vinyl, we'll pick this legendary record, Miles Davis, Sketches of Spain. We'll pick a couple of winners for that. There are prizes, man. There are prizes. I wish I could do them live. Missy Elliot, Supa Dupa Fly. We're giving away a couple of these as well, okay? Look for the podcast. I'll announce the winners in the podcast list. Is that cool? And at that point, just get back in touch with me, and we'll do it that way. Supa Dupa Fly. We'll give away 2 of these. I'm giving away a copy of Nina Simone Live as well. I'll announce it on Monday when the podcast comes in. And finally, you can pick one of these fine Sun records. You can choose among Johnny Cash, Howlin' Wolf, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, Carl Perkins, and if you want, this Hank Williams compilation, which is due out at Barnes & Noble at the beginning of August, exclusive color, blah, blah, blah. It's a record that's actually never been released, so you can't find, it's a first compilation of its kind. You want that, that'll be given away as well. And I think I'll check names one more time, and if there's no more names, then I'm sorry, guys. It was out of my hands. All right. Okay, Jason Helk. I don't know who's winning. This is all fucked. Okay, sorry, guys. Dave lost his internet, and that's the way it goes, man. Shit happens. Not your fault, Dave. Don't worry about it, but shit happens. Tune in next week. I'll announce other winners. Expect the podcast to be released every Monday, okay? And tell me how I did. What questions do you have for Link Wray's daughter? We're going to get that podcast, man. We're going to get that interview. What questions would you like to ask Link Wray's daughter? Put together questions. I'll do that for you. We're also going to be doing a review. Not a review, but we're going to be talking about Rockabilly. So the Sun Records catalog. I'll be talking to Andrew Rossiter of Org Music about the Sun Records catalog and Rockabilly in general. So I don't know it very well, and he's going to kind of, share his knowledge. It'll be fun. It's been fun, guys. Be well, all right? Speak soon. I don't know how to turn off this camera. Of course I don't know how to turn off this camera. How can I know how to turn off this camera?